Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I want to talk today about narcissistic people and what happens when you're too mentally strong for them to control. Let's talk about it. The first thing that happens when a narcissistic person can no longer control you is that their manipulation tactics begin to fail. Guilt tripping, devaluation, and love bombing. They rely heavily on these tactics. So when you begin to realize who you are, your self-worth, or if you walked into the relationship being a mentally strong individual, none of those tactics will begin to fail. They will no longer work on you. This is how you know you are growing and you're becoming mentally stronger, or you've walked into this relationship with this person that you thought was normal, but come to find out they were a narcissistic person and the manipulation tactics wouldn't even work from the beginning. You see, when you're a mentally strong individual, you recognize all of these little tactics and patterns and you dismiss them immediately. But if you're a person who can't do that or has been manipulated in some way by a narcissistic person, then understand that you have to grow more mentally stronger. As you become more mentally stronger, one of the main things that will happen is those manipulation tactics that I mentioned, they will no longer work. And this frustrates the heck out of them because now they understand that you're starting to see yourself in a more positive light, and you're starting to see that you are somebody and that you're getting healed and you're becoming more whole and complete within yourself. You're starting to realize your worth and your value, and this scares the mess out of them. Another thing that happens when you become more mentally stronger and a narcissistic person can no longer control you is that they begin to get triggered by your confidence. You just being you taking care of yourself, you being sure of yourself and learning your self-worth and your value is a direct threat to them. When you realize who you are, that becomes a threat to them. I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. The more confidence you gain, the more self-assurance that you have as an individual, the more self-love that you pour into yourself, the more they are scared because they feel like they can no longer control you. They don't have the power to control what you think about yourself any longer. They don't have the power to control how you feel about yourself day in and day out. They lose that power when you realize your self-worth and your value and you gain that control over yourself. You see, because a narcissistic person, they need to feel as though they are superior. They need to feel that they are above you. They need to feel that they are more smarter than you, that they're more tactful than you, that they can manipulate situations and get the outcome that they desire over you. They need to feel that. They need to feel like they are above you in some way. And when they realize that they cannot dominate you emotionally, it feels as though you have rejected them. It feels like rejection or like they've been exposed. You see, your confidence becomes a mirror reflecting their inadequacies, and they hate that. So another thing that happens when a narcissistic individual realize that they cannot control you or that you are too mentally strong for them, they may either go deeper into their narcissism and begin to escalate situations, or they would try to sabotage you completely. You see, when they realize that you're not easy to manipulate, they may become more aggressive or manipulative as a last ditch effort in order to gain control. They'll start smear campaigning you. They'll go deeper or longer in the silent treatment, or they'll begin to start love bombing you with intensity like never before. But you see, when you are mentally stronger, or you have grown from a place of self-development and you become more whole and complete within yourself, when they try to get these emotional reactions or responses out of you to make you fall for their manipulation, it doesn't work because you remain more grounded. You stay grounded. Although they're doing all this extra stuff, you innately remain grounded within self and you don't react emotionally. And when you don't react emotionally, this weakens them even more so, and they lose even more control. which means that they hate you more. Another thing that happens when a narcissistic person loses control or realizes that you are too mentally strong for them, you begin to break the trauma bond. You see, one of the most powerful effects of becoming a more mentally strong individual is that you begin to break free from all of the emotional attachments that they worked so hard to create. You stop questioning your reality and you'll start beginning to trust yourself more and more. And you see, when you lack self-trust is because you've made maybe decisions in your past, and those decisions weren't the best decisions for you. So what you've done is, instead of trust yourself with future situations, you begin to distrust yourself. And that is exactly what a narcissistic person or a toxic individual wants you to do. They want you to question your reality. They don't want you to realize your worth and your value. They don't want you to realize who you are. And they don't want you to see yourself as someone who is worthy of true love. They don't want you to see that, because they understand that when you see these things and realize who you are, that you will begin at some point or another to break free from that control, to break free from that toxicity, that toxic relationship, that toxic attachment that they have created, that trauma bond. And you stop needing their validation. That right there is true liberation. And as you begin to become this more mentally stronger individual who is whole and complete within self and has done that self work and is doing the self work, if you are a mentally strong individual off top, none of that stuff will even exist. The relationship will start and end as soon as you see those red flags. You'll be out of there. One of the last things that will happen as you become more mentally stronger in these type of relationships is that the narcissistic person will begin to realize that it's a lost cause to try and control you, that it's a lost cause to continue in the relationship, because ultimately they're not able to dominate you and they're not able to get the results that they want from you. So what's going to happen is that they're going to eventually start looking outward, out of the relationship. And they will begin to move on to someone else that they perceive that they can dominate and control. But let me tell you, beautiful one, that is not no loss to you. That is not something that is bad or sad or something to be down about. No, if a narcissistic or toxic individual chooses to be with somebody else or chooses to discard you or walk away from the relationship, yes, yay, do a dance. Like, really look at it from the point of view that you are being delivered from that toxic situation, from that mess. And that this situation and that all of this coming to the light and you being able to maintain control of your own self and not be manipulated any longer by a toxic narcissistic individual, understand that is a blessing. You are blessed. So don't take it as something that is sad or something to be down about. No, you are blessed. You are being blessed. You are no longer a source of supply for their ego. And that is a beautiful thing. And the last thing that happens when you become so mentally strong or are a mentally strong individual that has done self-work or is doing self-work and is learning to become whole and complete within self, and that has realized their worth and your value, you begin to reclaim your peace. The peace that was taken from you while in that toxic narcissistic relationship, the peace that you may have never felt if you're dealing with family members who have been narcissistic, even parents and siblings who have been narcissistic people in your life or your environment. You begin to reclaim or gain this peace within you that is beautiful, that feels so freeing, that is something that you would never jeopardize ever again, because now your boundaries, they're firm, your energy is protected, and your peace, it becomes your priority, something that no one can ever take away from you again. You will stop trying to fix or understand toxic individuals. You just won't have the energy for it anymore. You will completely wash your hands with people who don't show up the way that they are supposed to in this life or in your life, particularly. You won't. You won't accept just anything from anyone any longer. And instead, you will continue or begin to pour into your own self-development, your own growth, your own healing, and your own empowerment. You see, the bottom line is this: being too mentally strong for a narcissist means that you are no longer a puppet in their game. You see, you are the storm that they cannot weather. You are the very mirror that they cannot handle. And eventually, they'll realize that they never, ever stood a chance. So as you become this whole and complete person who is mentally stronger, mentally tougher, who has these boundaries and self-love intact, and you become this flower of life and this beautiful individual inside and outside, you are walking this life with your head up, understanding who you are truly, and understanding that there's not a person on the face of this earth that can break you. You may go through things. You may have different experiences in your life. You may have ups and downs, and that's okay. That's a part of life. It's a part of the process. It's a part of growth. It's a part of becoming the highest version of yourself. But instead of looking at those things as though they are problematic, or instead of looking at trials and tribulations that come as something that is there to break you down, you'll begin to look at those things and challenges as though this is just a part of the process. And this challenge is in front of me to grow me, to strengthen me, to make me gain that resiliency that I need in order to overcome all hard situations, to triumph. You understand? So that's all I want to say to you guys today. That's all I want to talk about. I love you all. Peace, blessings, love, and power. Another thing, you guys, get my free self-love journal. And there's other downloads down there in the description. If you look, you can sign up for my newsletter. Visit my website, tatianaqueen.com. You can book a consultation. All kinds of things are there. Just go in the description and look. And do not forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share. If this message touched you in any way, please leave a comment below. It really encourages me to keep going and to know that I'm having some type of effect in the world. So if you will, I love you all. Until next time, peace, blessings, love, and an abundance of power to you all. Bye. You see, a narcissist relies heavily on